Ahoy everybody, Mark from Secret River Tours. I just wanted to give you an idea of the sort of fishing gear that I use when I go fishing. Now the fishing gear I use is very simple and it's easy to use for beginners, but it's also good quality gear. So if you're someone who does a lot of fishing, you'll be able to come and pick these fishing rods up and feel them and go, oh yeah, that's a good fishing rod. So I use good quality gear, but I also use simple stuff that so beginners can also use it. Now, the rod is a really light graphite rod, and I buy these locally at Good Sports. They're really well priced. They're $70 each. But they're really good quality. So they're really light, they're well made, and as I say, they're graphite. So they're very, very good value for money. The reels I use, they're called an Okuma. And the reason why I use them is because they've got a really good bearing in them, and they're very, very good quality. So they're all metal, they're not plastic or anything like that. They're really good solid metal, and they last. So if you look after them, they last a long time, and they work really, really well when you're out using them. I use light 6-pound braid on the reel, and on the end of the braid I tie some leader, some really good quality light clear leader. The lure I use is just basically the same lure I use all the time, and it's a Z-Man curly tail grub, and it's a 2-inch curly tail grub. So it's the smallest curly tail grub you can buy for the Z-Man. The reason why I use these are because they catch everything. So it doesn't matter whether you're fishing in the bay or fishing in the river, everything eats this thing. I've caught all sorts of fish on this lure, and fish that you usually aren't known to catch on lures, like leather jacket and whiting and things like that. So, and the reason why it's so good is because, number one, it acts, I don't know whether you can see it in the water, but it swims like a bait fish. So it imitates a bait fish, but it also imitates a worm. So if that's sitting on the bottom, the tail sticks up off the bottom and it wiggles around like a worm. So if something's coming along, it'll see it sitting there wiggling on the bottom, and they often pick them up and eat them as if it's eating a worm. So it works both ways. You can almost use it as a bait. So I've got scent on it at the moment. You can put a bit of smelly stuff on it. It masks the smell of sunscreen, and it also attracts the fish. So I can throw this out and let it sit there for 5 minutes, and I've caught fish before with the lure just sitting on the bottom. So they're the best of both worlds, these lures. And another good thing about them is that they've only got one hook on them. So you can see there's only one hook, and I crimp the barb on the hook. Now the reason why I do that is because it's really soft on the fish, so it doesn't knock the fish around, and the fish are really easy to unhook, and so are the children. So obviously we don't want anyone getting hurt, and these are really easy. If you accidentally get one in the finger, it'll come just straight out. But look, all seriousness, I've never had anyone get a hook in their finger yet. So they're pretty safe to use, but if they do, you can get it out really easy. I've had a hook in the finger a few times, and it's not much fun if there's a barb on there, I can tell you. Now I'll just show you this other lure here that I've got to give you a comparison. Now I don't use these lures. I've bought a lot of lures over the years, and I've fallen into the trap of a lot of fishermen who a lot of lures, well, the vast majority of lures are designed to catch fishermen, not fish. They do catch fish also, but that's not what they're designed for. They're to catch fishermen. Now, I've got a cupboard full of lures because I've just walked into fishing shops and gone, oh, I'm getting that, no, I'm getting that. Now that catches fish, but the problem is you can see how many hooks it's got. It's got 6 hooks on that lure. And not only does it catch fish, but it catches everything else. So just before I put that lure down on my bag, and it took me 10 minutes to get it off the bag because I got hooked on the bag. That's why I don't use these. Now they do catch fish, but I just don't use them because it complicates things. I like to keep things as simple as possible. So I'll just put that back again. I just like to keep things as simple as possible, and that lure not only catches a lot of fish, but it's very, very easy to use, and it doesn't matter whether you're a seasoned professional or an amateur who's never gone fishing before. You can pick this up and you can catch fish straight away. Well, if they're biting, but they work. So that's just the fishing gear. I thought I'd show you that. So when you come out fishing with me, I charge an extra $25 for the adults, and the reason why I do that is because fishing gear is expensive to maintain and obviously to buy in the first place, and I have quality gear, so you know it just, even though it's an extra $25, it saves you going out and buying your own fishing gear, which could cost you, you know, $200, $300, $400. You can buy you can just pay the extra $25 and off you go. You can literally come out with me, jump out of your car, get into my kayak, pick up the fishing rod and start fishing. You don't need to buy extra lures. I'm not going to try and upsell you lures or jig heads or fishing line or fishing bait or anything like that. The extra $25 in the price of fishing means that you can use all these rods. Now I've got 6 rods with the same reel and the same rod and all the same gear on it. I've got 6 of them. And that way, if you come out with me and you get a tangle or you get a snag, I'll come over, I'll take that rod off you and I'll give you another spare one. And also, if you've got 3 or 4 or 5 people coming out, everyone gets a fishing rod. All right? So that's it. I'm going to try and catch a fish now and talk to you soon.